gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is our take. We are your hosts. I'm Ocean.
I'm Taylor.
And ladies and gentlemen, we had another episode for you guys today on the DC and Warner Brothers newest addition to their universe, sort of kind of Blue Beetle. Right? This movie came out yesterday, 2 days ago, as far as we were filming, Friday, August 18th. And we watched it. Now we're going to give you guys our take and talk about, I don't know. I had such mixed feelings about this movie. I'm going to be straight up. I had such mixed feelings, so I'm going to kind of rely on you to help me work my way through these thoughts. Right?
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do this in traditional fashion as always. Spoiler-free content first. Give you guys an idea of what to expect without giving away the whole movie. Then we'll dive into the scores, and then we'll talk about the spoilers. Before we get to that, though, real quick, Taylor's going to give you guys a rundown of who's in this movie. Some somewhat known faces and some not. So go ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and apologize now for all the names I'm about to butcher. Some of these look very challenging. So the star of this movie, I'm just going to assume it's Solo Marie Duena, something like that. Then we have Bruna Marquezine, George Lopez. That was the easy one. Then we also got Belissa Escobedo, Raul Trujillo. I don't know if that's correct. Susan Sarandon, Harvey Guillen, Damien Alcazar, I think, and Becky G.
And I think the only other one is just the grandma.
Yeah, Adriana Barraza.
Okay.
Oh, and then the mom.
Oh, yeah.
Elpidia Carrillo.
Alrighty. Let's see your cast, ladies and gentlemen. That's who's in this. We're going to get into it spoiler-free first. Let you guys know our thoughts on whether or not you should see this movie. Spoiler-free for me, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said earlier, I had mixed feelings about this. I think ultimately this movie accomplished what it set out to do. Like I think it was successful in accomplishing its overall goal, or at least what I expect it to be its overall goal. It was successful in making me feel specific emotions in specific times. It was successful in that, and there were some cool things in there. And there's one particular person that, in my opinion, completely stole the show. But there's also a lot of things that are unfortunate about it and question marks. And in addition to that, the whole outside of the movie aspect, in the fact that this is an entry in the DCEU, but not the new DCEU, and we have no idea where this falls and all that stuff. We'll get into all that, but so ultimately, I'm just mixed on it, and I'm hoping that after our conversation, I might have a little bit clearer of a picture. But I don't know. How did you feel, Taylor?
I like this movie a lot.
Well, shit.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I think maybe it's also because this is one of the better DC things that have come out in a while now. That is why I like it even more so.
Yeah.
But I think they actually did a lot of things really well in this. And some of the things that you're talking about of being iffy makes sense to me, but I don't think actually apply to this movie, but I guess it depends on how specific we're talking.
Yeah.
But I think in general, this was a really good superhero movie, which is really weird for me to say because
yeah, especially about a superhero movie.
Superhero movies have been pretty mediocre at best.
Well, here's what I'll say. Like I said, I'm going to be relying on you to help me work my way through my emotions. But ultimately, I want to like this. I do. So I'm hoping that I end up liking it. But um, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Stick around for the spoiler section, ladies and gentlemen, as Taylor and I walk through this movie and kind of unwrap the the thoughts and things that are going on in my head. As far as the score goes, though, Taylor, what are you feeling for a score?
Well, before I do that, real quick, I do just want to give, I guess, like general thoughts.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I thought most of these actors I don't know, except for George Lopez, that I know off the top of my head. But I thought pretty much everybody did either like good enough, or in some cases, George Lopez I did think did really well. He was really funny in this movie. The music I really enjoyed in this movie
Mm,
a lot. Like I can't even understate that I really, really liked the music in this movie, and I really just love the aesthetic. And I don't know anything about Blue Beetle
sure.
as a character, and I'm not sure if this movie is meant to be separate from it or not. From because all of my knowledge is from this movie,
Right.
and this movie gives off a certain, I guess, image of the character Blue Beetle. So I don't know if it's accurate or not. I
Right.
don't really care. I think it's super cool. And for an original character, especially, I think is kind of difficult, especially nowadays, because we already have, our favorites and stuff.
Yep.
And so trying to, which at this point, they're Marvel, DC, they're trying to bring up their, we'll just say, not as known
second
characters.
strings.
Yeah.
Second and third stringers.
I mean, really, it's more like third and fourth, because some of Marvel characters are their third and fourth string, but
Yeah.
they just are now seen as big name people because of what they did. But it's cool that this was being a lesser known character, and I enjoyed it a lot. For me, I just like that fact. So that being said, I'm gonna give Blue Beetle an 8.
An 8. Solid. Okay. I think I'm sitting at a 7. I think it could change as we go through our spoiler session, but I think like preemptively, I think I'm sitting at an 8. Like,
Which is good.
or sorry, 7, 7, 7, 7.
Yeah,
Sorry.
7.
Because like I enjoyed it and I had a good time. There are definitely some parts where I was like, "Ooh, ouch," but um, for the most part, and I think ultimately it's largely in part to one specific character. But yeah, okay. So your score was an 8, my score was a 7. Let's dive into the spoilers so that we can so I can learn more about this and hopefully get all these mixed feelings out and figure this out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, bear with me and let me know down in the comments below if you think I'm being weird or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just didn't see something there. But um, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna serve as your official.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, so first off, real quick, George Lopez, still amazing. Like, still the like I don't know why I wasn't expecting him to be amazing, but he was amazing.
I don't know, maybe
I
it's because you just
I don't know.
don't like old people.
No, it's not that. I don't know. I didn't expect him to steal the show. Like I genuinely think that he stole the show in this movie. Like, not to say that Zolo or Bruna or some of the other main characters didn't do well. I wasn't a huge fan of Sarah or Susan
The
Sarandon's
villain.
performance, the main villain
Yeah.
or main
Antagonist,
villain.
whatever.
I wasn't really a huge fan of her performance, but it wasn't like abysmal or anything. But George Lopez just like he absolutely rocked it. Like he was hilarious, so funny. My favorite scene is get the main characters getting pulled up or picked up from the airport in the very beginning of the movie, and the most amazingly stereotypical, hilarious Toyota Tacoma comes rolling around the corner, and out pops Jerry Lopez. It's amazing, and I laughed so hard in the movie theater at that. And I admittedly, it's probably because, like, I swear to God, I've seen that truck driving around here in Hawaii. I
Probably.
swear to God, I've
I
seen.
mean, if it exists, it's got to be here.
I swear to God, I've seen a truck like that driving around in Hawaii with like chrome everywhere, a spoiler on the tailgate, like just completely like tricked out.
It's
May
an
not be my
abomination.
may not be my personal taste as far as it being tricked out, but oh man, it was just it was so funny for me. I was dying of laughter when I saw the taco for the first time.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, and then it even built on it throughout the movie because of George Lopez's attachment to the truck, and oh man, it was so funny.
Yeah. It was really funny. And I like that aspect for his character. This is to me is funny because we just watched prior to this Gran Turismo, which is
Yeah,
heavily influenced because it's made by certain companies and
yeah,
sponsors and blah 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 blah. This movie, I could have used a little less fucking obvious
obvious.
Toyota
Yeah,
subliminal
sure.
like advertising. Because even before the movie starts, there's a Blue Beetle Toyota advertisement that I had watched, and I thought it was kind of obnoxious.
Is there?
When I saw it, there was.
Oh.
It was literally this. It was like these people, and they saw this like video playing of the Tacoma, and then they were having this argument like, "You don't need you don't need Blue Beetle. You have the Tacoma. The Tacoma can do all these blank things. Blah 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 blah." And they're like, "But the Blue Beetle can do these things." And they're like, "Let's just ask him." And it's Blue Beetle, and it's like, "Why don't we just partner up?" No, bro. I don't need that.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I don't need that. I know it's plastered throughout the movie.
Yeah,
It was
showed off the
like that
new
wasn't funny to me. Like if I didn't have that ad play prior to, it might have been a little bit more bearable, but it was a little too much to me.
That's
Like,
funny. That's
I
funny
get
how
it that it fits like the look and stuff,
and the character.
but like constantly of like Tacoma this, Tacoma that, taco, taco, taco. I get it, bro. Like, just stop. It's just the truck.
That's interesting that the difference between our reaction to it is largely based off of an ad that you saw and I didn't.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's funny how that works. Not to say you're right or I'm wrong, right? They just
Yeah.
it's just like you just had a different experience than I did.
Yeah.
And it manifested itself in a different reaction to that part of the movie. That's crazy.
But yeah. But it was funny, like in the movie, like it is funny, and I like his character. He is great. He doesn't steal the show for me, but he does provide an excellent supporting character.
Yeah.
With the main character.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so
because he's the cool uncle.
Yeah. Premise of the movie, right? You guys see it in the trailer. Zolo, the main character, ends up obtaining this scarab from the female Jenny, and it chooses him.
No, from Victoria. Oh, actually, yeah, Jenny gives it to him, but yeah, she stole it
in the box. In the
what's in the
hamburger box. And I have a lot of little issues with the way that the beginning of the movie went, but I think it's just because we've seen like 50 superhero origin movies, and
oh yeah,
it's just like impossible to be original at this point, and I try to like not hold it against movies, but at the same time, like I swear to God, I saw this. I like the sequence of events that happens in the beginning of this movie. I swear to God, I've seen it like 10 times.
But it's inevitable.
At this point, it's just kind of like, well, it is what it like. There's.
It was inevitable back when these were created.
Yeah.
Fucking before we were even born.
Right. So, the one thing that I do wholeheartedly agree with you though, is that my complete lack of knowledge about this character serves this movie really well, and ultimately is probably the biggest drawback for this movie in my opinion, but is also kind of like secretly it's kind of like a good thing too. Ultimately, I wanted more from this movie. Like I wanted to know more about the Beetle, about the Scarab. I wanted to know more about like just the character and the original Blue Beetle that was Jenny's dad. Like I wanted to know more, and this movie doesn't provide that. And so it's kind of it's a bummer, but it also means that it effectively captured my
Right, because it makes you
attention. And
want to keep
right,
watching.
like if out of all of the, I told it my sister this right after the movie. Out of all of the DC movies that have come out recently, like within the past 3 to 4 years, this is the one that I would want a sequel to. It's just to learn more about it and see more of it. Like everything else, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need another one. But like this one, if they did a sequel, I would love to see it. But that also brings into the equation those question marks that I was talking about in my spoiler free thoughts. Is that like the DCU was taken over by James Gunn, right? This movie was already completed and like slated to come out before James Gunn took over. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure this is the last one, right? Like this is the last movie that was completed before the James Gunn takeover. I think everything else was still in
Aquaman.
production, right? Oh, Aquaman was?
I think that might be the
Oh,
last
okay.
one.
Okay. Well, one of the last ones, right? And there's, as far as I know and the limited research that I've done, there's no explicit yes or no whether or not like Blue Beetle is staying into the James Gunn. Like if this is gonna be part of canon in the new DCU that James Gunn is supposedly manufacturing. And it's a bummer, right? Because it's like, well, is does it matter? Like, should I be excited? Should I continue to be excited about this and hope for a sequel, or is this it? Are we not getting it anymore? You know what I mean?
Well, I think there's two aspects to this that I guess kind of need to be brought up. And one is this expectation that has been built upon and driven into the minds of all the audiences around the world from Marvel that everything needs to be connected, which is probably why they got James Gunn to accept the position in the first place, is to try to connect everything.
Sure.
Now, personally, I don't understand this reasoning for that of why people think, yeah, they're all superheroes. Doesn't mean they need to interact with each other. They can in side stories and stuff like that. Doesn't mean they need to be. So I don't really know what this obsession is with movies doing that in the first place. But two is if this is successful enough, it doesn't matter what James Gunn wants. Because in the case of Batman, he has literally no word on it because it's so successful, even though we had our thoughts on it. He wasn't allowed to touch that. And Matt Reeves is continuing that, and I don't know when the next one comes out, but that is an example of it doesn't fucking matter what he wants. As long as it's successful, they'll keep making it.
Mm.
But it depends on whether or not it is.
Yeah.
So
to answer the first aspect, I think, I mean, obviously it was created by Marvel, right? Marvel created this whole cinematic universe idea and instilled in the viewers' minds that when it comes to these things, they're supposed to be all connected. Um, and I think ultimately because James Gunn took over and essentially said like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the same thing. Like I'm gonna make everything connected." That's why my expectation and my questions are, well, okay, is this part of that overall connection or is it not? Like where does this fall? And it's the not knowing that's frustrating, I guess. Because I'm all for standalones. Like the Joker, right, is outside of the cinematic universe or whatever, and or takes place within its own universe, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and they're making a second one.
yeah, I mean, it's an amazing movie.
So like I'm all for standalones. I just think that if you as a director, I don't even know what his position like title is within
I don't know now,
within
but
Warner Brothers, because like what is the position title for like head of the DCU? Like what is that?
yeah. Well, so
What does that look like on paper?
the second part of that was kind of like my example of he may say something, but it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
because
Well, what does that mean for? What
he
is,
also said that he was not going to include many of the very popular actors that we had from the
right.
previous one. He's already gone back on his word on that because Wonder Woman was already they Gal Gadot has already stated that
Right.
she is getting a
Confirmed.
Wonder Woman 3,
Yeah.
which means not only are they like keeping 1 and 2, which that was
In
already
canon,
is,
which yeah, two should
whatever.
probably be struck from
Yeah,
canon,
2
but
shouldn't
whatever.
be there. But so I honestly at this point it's like, well, who cares what
Hmm.
James Gunn wants? Cuz if the money is there,
Yeah.
they're gonna take it cuz Warner Brothers
Well,
wants it.
maybe this is our opportunity as a fan base and as a viewer in a viewer driven industry. This is our opportunity to kind of admit some control over what happens. You know what I mean? Like this movie is good, ladies and gentlemen. Like this is a solid movie. They have something here. So let's support it. Let's watch it. Let's make it successful so that we can get more of it. And whether it's James Gunn giving it to us or not, at least we get more of what is good. And then the shit that's bad, like Batman, stop watching that shit. All right?
Yeah, good luck with trying to convince people of
Like,
that.
stop. Like, when it's bad, don't watch it. Don't support it.
I'm not well, okay. Wait. Batman's awesome. The Batman. It's okay. Wait. Let me be real specific. Robert Pattinson
is
and
not
Chloe
Batman.
Kravitz. Get the fuck
Is it Chloe? Zoe, right?
Zoe? I don't know.
Kravitz,
Whatever.
yeah. Zoe.
Whoever the fuck your name is, you suck as Catwoman and you suck as Batman. Please stop. Everybody else was great.
You know what? That's probably a fairer assessment. I just hated that movie so much that I've just kind of like
just
grouped it
bring
all
back
together.
Michael
But
Keaton, bro.
you already tried to, and
I mean, I loved him as Batman. I
Yeah.
still do.
yeah, I guess it's fair to say like Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz specifically, but because that movie just, yeah, I don't know. That movie is horrible. Anybody that says otherwise,
But yeah. But anyways,
You're
to his
wrong.
point, this is a good movie. And I really hope that people get over their fucking feelings about shitting on every single goddamn superhero movie, especially DC. This is a good movie. Go out and watch it, please.
yeah,
I don't
If
give a fuck about James Gunn. All right. I already said many times that I'm not a fan of what he has proposed to do, but he's also, like I said, there's already been things going on that he said he wasn't going to do. But I guess you're not in charge because obviously not, because you don't hold the money.
talks, right? Money talks.
That's what I'm saying. So at least like when we got something good here. Just go watch it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And it's the same thing for Marvel too. It's just unfortunately
Yeah, Marvel
that got Disney, so Disney is kind of a whole nother beast within itself, and they are realizing that because now they're like trying to shuffle up everything they're making because they're trying to cut back. And then there was the whole SAG-AFTRA strikes, whatever, which is
yeah,
a
the
whole bunch of mess.
writer strikes and stuff. Yeah.
So, but in general, go support it.
I agree. I think that this is our opportunity to kind of take back a little bit of control, because like we've been saying, money talks. So
Right. And like I said, this is a new character, and I
Yeah.
think for being a new character, and it does involve a general group of people, kind of. It's not specific, but
I mean Mexicans.
yeah, but it's not like everything in this doesn't really like specifically like target Mexicans. It's just kind of like Latin
Sure. Yeah.
culture, Latino culture, whatever. But that's a good thing in this case because it actually works.
Well,
And
so that's like going back to one of my issues, which like, is the scarab itself from Mexican culture, or is it something? I mean, I know they say it's alien, right? But like, has it been here the whole time? When was it introduced to mankind? Is it a Mexican thing, or is it just happen? Does it just so happen that our main character just so happened to be Hispanic or Latino? You know, like
Yeah, I mean,
is it
I
like
don't
a
know.
Moon Knight thing where like the main character is from Middle Eastern or Egyptian descent and he ends up in a Middle Eastern or Egyptian like story, or or not? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Like I don't
I
know.
don't know
Maybe you
anything
guys could
about Blue
educate
Beetle,
us.
but in this particular case, it seems coincidental. Like, and
As far
it's
as the movie tells us, ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen, it's coincidental. There is the only explanation that we get about the beetle is one that it's alien. And George Lopez doesn't like the word of alien, or his
yeah.
character, I should say, Rudy. And then two, is that it was like belonged to Jenny Cord's dad at some point. And then it was law at his dad or grandpa. Was it grandpa or who hit it? I forgot who hit it. Was it the grandpa or the dad? Somebody hit it because they didn't want it to fall in the wrong
I
hands.
don't remember. I
Yeah,
know the
one of the two.
dad had it, but could not use it.
Yeah, didn't add to it. So, and that's the other thing is that the beetle or the scarab chooses its host.
Yeah,
So not just
you can't just
anybody.
pick it up and like
And
use it. Yeah,
Not just anybody can use the powers of the Blue Beetle. Speaking of powers, it's kind of OP.
yeah, it's awesome.
Thing is fucking badass.
It's fucking sick.
It's sick. And it
Anything you
yeah.
want, you got it.
make. Anything you can. Is it anything you can dream of, or you can think
Anything you can think of,
I
I
can make?
can make. Yeah,
Yeah, that scene is still, even though you see that scene in the trailer of him like
It's
putting the
still
two
cool.
swords together and doing like the spin around his neck.
yeah, the huge.
Yeah, like
huge
even
sword.
though that's in the trailer, it's still badass in the movie.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but there was like that moment and like some other specific fighting scenes felt Final Fantasy-esque to me.
yeah,
I don't know if it's intentional or not, but if it is, that's cool.
I felt it.
Regardless, it looked cool.
I haven't played a whole lot of Final Fantasy, but
I'm
felt
sure
it.
you could recognize
I-
Cloud fucking
100%.
smashing
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
100%.
So I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if that's intentional, but it was cool.
Is it
Either way.
fair to say that our villain looked more badass than the hero? Or sorry, not the ultimate
He's
villain,
like
but
the henchman.
the henchman. What is his name? Conrad or Carpax.
So I don't think he looks cooler for me, but he looks
does.
really, really cool.
I think he looks cooler.
Yeah. I don't think it looks cooler to me just because it's basically just like a War Machine Iron Man thing. But it's got like aesthetics of like a Jaeger.
Yeah,
but
I think that's
tiny.
why it is. I think that's
But
why.
if I'm gonna have a Jaeger, I want
the
a
full
Jaeger.
size Jaeger.
To have a dude that looks like a Jaeger, it's still cool, but the proportion just feels off to me.
Yeah.
So it's one or the other for me, but it looks really cool.
The only thing I wish we could have gotten out of him is another like bug reference. You know what I mean? Like, for example, in Ant-Man, right? The villain ends up being modeled after a Yellow Jacket,
Yeah.
which is in common or in nature, Yellow Jackets and ants are like enemies, you could say, or whatever. But Yellow Jackets are higher in the food chain. So
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool if there was, unless I missed it,
Well, it's stupid
is-
because the only connection they kind of make
Yeah.
to that is his name, because he's Lieutenant Carapace. So that's another
what's Carapace mean?
it's another name for a beetle, I believe.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe. Oh, okay. Then maybe that answers my
but
question.
he doesn't aesthetically
Yeah, he doesn't-
portray it.
Right. Yeah.
But so I do think you're kind of right on that. But he looks cool either way, and he actually
what
ended up.
what is the natural predator of a beetle? Like an
Well, I guess
anteater?
it depends on the beetle. But
What if he like just was modeled after an anteater and he just had this like long fucking nose with the tongue?
that would probably suck. But what if he was a different like?
I'm just throwing out ideas here.
Like,
you know?
see, what if he was like dang, what are they called? The rhino beetles? You know, the three horned ones?
Yeah, the
What
one
if
from
he
like a
had-
Bug's Life that has the long. Okay.
Yeah, when they fight all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what if he was like that?
Ooh.
Then it would still look cool.
Like just like a bigger, beefier
Yeah, like,
beetle.
Really
Yoked.
jacked. Yeah, really jacked, dude.
Yeah. No,
But with horns and shit. I don't know.
that'd
That might
kinda
be cool.
That'd be
But-
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Actually,
But
that's super cool.
I mean, that would just fit the
Yeah.
look, but he was still really cool looking. It's just
Nah, he was.
it literally
He was.
just looked like a badass robot,
Yeah.
or a mech suit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I really love the way Blue Beetle looks. Like, I think he just looks fucking sick.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't really count, but in real life too, like when I saw the cosplayer, bro, it looked insane.
There was
like before this movie was even announced. I think
it was Qui-Con, right?
Yeah, it was a Qui-Con. It was like, because I think it got announced right after.
No, I think it was announced already because it's been announced for a while.
Not like
It might not have been.
No, the trailer might not have.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Most people don't know.
True.
Unless you're fucking looking up, goddamn, hooked into like directors and all that kind of stuff.
A movie review channel like we are.
Yeah, most people, they know when they see the trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer had not come out yet because I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck is that? I was
sick.
like, that looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then the trailer came like, oh shit, that's Blue Beetle is who I saw.
Right.
I saw him again at QuamCon, but
oh, that's cool.
It looks fucking cool. And I just love the way he looks. His power is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's OP.
But I love it, honestly.
I'm not against it. Just makes me think like, where's the Scarab the whole time during Justice League?
But it's not in the Justice League.
I know.
Because this takes place. It's like what? Caldera something?
Palmera Springs. It's the equivalent to Florida, basically.
Well, yeah, he's in the Edge Keys in Florida, but it's like hyper futuristic.
Well, it's just So Palmera Springs is mentioned in some of the other DC canon and stuff, and then they also kind of connect this movie back a little bit to the DCU. Like, he's wearing a Gotham Law sweatshirt a couple times, and then the suit that he's wearing when he goes to the tower when he gets the Scarab is a Gotham Law jacket, which is also seen in what is it called? Gotham, the TV show. You see it there. And then I think also Arrow, if I'm not mistaken, also has references to Gotham Law and some other stuff. But
those are like,
well, those are also technically outside of canon as well.
Right. Those are more Easter egg things versus like actual connections.
Yeah. True.
So they're cool to see.
But Palmera Springs is an established city, though. It's a
Yeah, but I thought it was weird. I guess it kind of fits like the overall aesthetic, but like they live in the ghetto, but the city looks like
insane.
Like
a utopia kind of,
like cyberpunk.
Sure, yeah.
Not even regular city, like hyper futuristic city, which I thought was strange. But at the same time, I loved like the synth music, blue, purple, retro, cyberpunk look with all the stylings and stuff. It's just, I don't know, the contrast.
Well, I think it
really
was
weird.
specifically done to juxtapose the two societies, right? To show that, like, like she even says it. The sister, what is her name? Milagro, Milagro, whatever. The sister, she even says it when they're on the rooftop, like, "Oh yeah, the world has progressed really, really quickly, and really, like, there's a lot of progress going on, but that's not our progress. Like, that wasn't meant for us." And so it's just kind of, I think they're trying to shine a light on the, like, if we're talking like, really in depth things, like, oh, there's always like a byproduct of progress, right? There's always like whatever, or a downside to progress, and it's that sometimes people get forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean, I know it plays into the whole like minority thing and all.
Exactly. They don't hammer it too much though.
Yeah, it just looks weird because like
the aesthetics, right? It's a drastic aesthetic.
It's very different. Like I know they're intended to be lower status, whatever.
Right.
That doesn't mean that one side of the city looks like it came out of fucking Halo and the other side just looks like Florida.
Yeah. I don't know. I also thought, my initial thought was, when I was watching the movie in the beginning, my initial thought was a lot of it was just like overlay that's not really there. You know what I mean? Like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. You know how there's like a lot of like stuff put on the screen but isn't actually there within the
Yeah, but
universe.
that's kind of like the entire thing of that movie.
No, but I know. But like when I was watching it, I was like, okay, is that giant like Palmyra Springs sign? Is that really there, or is that just for the audience to know what this place is? And then
Yeah.
again with
Are you
like
talking
when
about
they're
like at the airport and stuff, the
yeah,
holograms and stuff,
and then also when they're sitting on the roof and they're like visually looking
looking
at
at the
the
city?
city and
Yeah.
stuff. There's just like neon lights and stuff, you know. And I was trying to figure out, okay, is this just like a theme of the movie, kind of similar to like what's her name, the Marvel chick,
Which one?
uh, the one that we didn't
Captain Marvel?
finish. No, the other
Miss
one,
Marvel?
Miss Marvel. Yeah, the one that we didn't finish.
Yeah,
Um,
that one tried to copy Scott Pilgrim versus the World kind of
right.
thing.
Yeah, so like kind of like that though, like where like there's all these overlays that within the universe they're not actually there, but we see it as an audience to accentuate things. But then
Gotcha.
it kind of stopped. Then like once we got into the meat of the movie, it wasn't as present. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's what they were going for with the whole that style or aesthetic. I think it's literally just projections and
Yeah, no, that's
super.
what I mean. Is I think it is too. I think it
Yeah,
is too. But at the
which
beginning,
looks fucking weird.
at
And
the
you,
beginning, I thought it wasn't. I thought it was overlay for
yeah,
the audience.
yeah. So I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. I just thought it
No.
was weird looking at it
Mm,
because, like you said later on, it doesn't really matter because you're
right.
actually getting into the
The
story and
yeah.
stuff. But visually, I just thought it was a strange choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's
I
just,
would agree.
you know, I get it. Like I said, I get the separation, but it's kind of a extreme exaggeration.
Yeah.
Because you're not over here with, I mean, you're not over here with sticks and stones, and they're rocking like
Spaceships.
spaceships. Yeah, you still got some of it. It's just not, right. You know. But yeah, anyways.
No, I get what you mean.
But otherwise, like I said, I liked that whole vibe of like being somewhat old school but futuristic at the same time.
Meshing.
Yeah, blending together.
Meshing the two.
I think it works well. Sometimes it feels weird because it's like, well, are you going for a Mexican thing or are we just doing his own style?
Yeah.
Because I would
know.
prefer the unique like retro futuristic thing.
Sure.
Because the Beetle is like an alien
Right.
power. I know that, but I do like the family aspects being related to or grounded in like the cultural aspect of, you know, La Familia and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I loved all that in the
La
movie.
Familia.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So I agree. This movie, like I said, this movie does a really good or it's successful in making you feel the emotions that you're supposed to feel, right? There's some really heartfelt and really tear jerking moments of like when the father dies.
Yeah, the
Like,
father
that's
dude.
tragic, man.
That was
That
really
was
sad.
rough. It was rough to watch. And then, you know, like towards the end of the movie when he's gone too far and the Beetle has to rein him back in, and then we see the memories of the Carapax guy, like that's all. It's successful. It's successful in making you feel the emotions that you're supposed to feel, right? The familial emotions and whatnot. But there's some parts in this movie where the dialogue and the way that things are written really hamper the development of the movie and break immersion for me. And a lot of it has to do with the Victoria Court character, Susan Sarandon, and also Bruna, the Jenny Cord. A lot of their interactions felt so bland and so like just lame. Like the scene in the house when like our main character doesn't have the scarab yet and he's like a cleaner or a servant at the house.
Oh, the mansion.
Yeah, the mansion,
Yeah.
right? And like Jenny and Victoria are arguing about like it just didn't, I don't know. was poorly written in my opinion.
That
And it,
particular scene, I do remember standing out as being really stupid, and
yeah,
it's like uh, just dialogue
yeah,
for
most of
all the characters to
yep,
me. Like even Zolo, the sister,
yep,
all of them.
yeah,
I
I
thought it was
agree.
awful.
Yeah,
Like visually, it was fine, like the setting and everything. But yeah, I agree. Like the just the way they were talking to each other was just really
yeah.
stupid.
No, I think unfortunately a large majority of the actors and actresses fell victim to poor writing, because it seemed like everybody was solid because there are scenes where everybody performs really well, but there are also scenes where just the dialogue and the execution of the scene just doesn't allow the actors to perform their best and makes it really cringy. For example, like immediately after that scene where Jenny like walks outside and Zolo like approaches her
He
and what
simps.
huh?
He simps
Yeah, he sims for her. And then
real hard.
she like I don't know, like she like awkwardly is like, "Oh, just come to my tower and I'll try to get you a job." And another, it's just weird. It was a really weird feeling, um, and it just breaks immersion. So
Yeah, I agree. Um, but the reason why I hated it more so was that that was them attempting to set up the Victoria's bad,
right,
Jenny's good.
right,
To me, you felt like a spoiled brat
yep,
and a crazy spoiled
yep.
insert word.
It's
Um, so their conversation and stuff. It is weird. Nobody would
yeah,
do that in real
no,
life.
it's just
Like the most you'd probably do is be like, "Look, I'm sorry," and the sister is like, "Oh, she's a cord. They're all bad." You're likely not going to be saying that while
no,
you are still on the property that you were just getting fired from
no,
in front of those people, somehow not knowing that this chick that is passing you is also a family member.
right,
Because why wouldn't she be? She looks like she's part
right,
of the family. Because the
yeah.
only people there are
Either servants or like part
exactly,
of
you're either
the
the servants or the
organization.
family,
Yeah,
or they work for the family.
right.
And she doesn't look like an employee. So
Yeah, I don't know. It was just that's part of the reason why the movie fell a little short on the scale for me. You know, like my score is a little lower just because of that kind of stuff. Like there's scenes here and there where the actors are hampered by bad writing and
yeah,
poor
which
dialogue.
I do think is fair. I think I just don't care as much because I'm more worried about Blue Beetle and his
Hmm.
family. Because Jenny honestly didn't need you in this movie.
Well, it just like for me, it just is unfortunate because it's a waste of time that could have been utilized towards building the rest of the story that I actually cared about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I just wish that we would have got, like I said, that I was left wanting more. I wanted more from this movie, to know more, to learn more, see more. I wanted to see more of the Beetle. Like we get the montage of him like when he first gets the Beetle and they're like the Beetle is like diagnostics and testing,
yeah,
right? And it's a great scene. I really like it. But there also like was a massive jump from him being brand new to the Beetle to all of a sudden, oh, I can fight and do all these things with the Beetle and know how to utilize everything. And there's no like, there's no in story explanation of how he was able to get a hold of his powers and utilize them properly. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I do think that is true.
yeah,
And it's complicated with this particular character because at any point in time, the beetle or the scarab,
right. Can just like take over.
whatever its name is, I forget. It's like
Um,
Kai
it's a it's Kajda or something like that.
something with like a
Kandi, yeah. I don't know
but
how to
whatever
pronounce
its
it.
name is can just take over him
Right.
because they're one and the
They're a
same.
symbiotic
Yeah,
relationship.
which is cool.
Basically, it's just Venom.
I mean, he is a symbiote, yes, but they don't work the same at all.
No.
Uh, but in the sense that he is one with Eddie Brock, like yes, they're together, but well, they're almost they're a little bit more separate than I would say Blue Beetle is, but because they're literally like
Two
fused,
separate
and like Venom
organisms.
can literally just pop off of him whenever he wants, whereas the Scarab cannot. Um, but yeah, he can just take over whenever they want. So it's like, well, is this,
Yeah, is this
uh,
or is this Miguel or
or not? Like we
right,
don't know at any point in time.
yeah.
I mean, obviously you just assume at times, but it's
Right.
like, well, how do we separate it? Like,
Right, and it also dampens the story because part of the story was him
well, he should be learning.
he doesn't want to be a killer, but in the beginning Blue Beetle or the Scarab wanted to kill things, and then he had to like overcome the Scarab's predetermined desire to kill.
Right.
And then at the end of the movie it's flip-flopped, right? But like it takes away depth from that by not explaining more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wished, and I know this is just me, but I kind of wish they would stop with this I don't want to kill thing, because George Lopez kills a motherfucker.
Yeah, clearly. Like look, I
bro.
don't know if the idea was to not kill anybody in this movie or just that our
Or
main
just the
character
main
didn't
character
want to
doesn't
do.
want to.
But the giant beetle bug thing at the end,
Bro, impales
just-
a dude.
straight up,
and this is a large robot, and it's stuck on him.
Yeah.
Like his body comes with the leg. I'm like, your entire chest cavity,
Yeah, it's
whatever's gone.
And on top of that, shout out to the real hero of this story. Truly, like if we really think about it, the real hero of this story is actually Dr. Sanchez, which I apologize. I know it's not your name, but this cast list doesn't have your real name, so take it up with IMDb because they messed up and put you down as Mr. or Dr. Sanchez and not your real true name.
Like within the story.
Yeah, which was
this
an
is
amazing moment.
The fake name, or not? This is the incorrect name that they use in the movie.
Yeah, is Dr. Sanchez. You're the real hero, bro. You're the real hero of this story, bro.
He is.
Like without him, movie's done. You know, like he let Blue Beetle out while the other dude was transforming, and
Think of Final Transform.
got him out. And then, but his death was like very blatant, and
Right, because
you can't
there's
deny
a lot of blood that
Yeah.
flies on the
you
windscreen.
cannot deny that he
Which
died.
at least they had that.
Right.
Because I'm glad at least the henchman dude was violent.
Right. So it's like, okay, can you just clarify for me? Is it that that you don't want the hero to kill anybody because you want the hero to abstain blood from his hands and keep it the hero image, or are you going for like a no killing it in general in your movie?
Yeah.
But
they
didn't clarify.
I specifically want the hero to be okay with killing people. But that's just me.
You're about to get canceled for that, bro.
Or I'm about to be really, really big. Because there's both sides.
Talk good about me, talk bad about me.
As long as you're
Just
talking
talk
about
me.
But yeah,
I get what you're
because
saying.
I thought the initial introduction to his transformation was awesome.
Yeah.
It's graphic. Like it's definitely like some body like morph, what do you call it, deformity kind of stuff. Like it's a little freaky, but I like it.
Yeah.
So with that being shown, I'm like, oh, maybe he'll actually like just kill people.
Yeah.
Instead of this, I don't want to kill people, but I'm going to do these things that probably would kill them anyways. So
yeah, it unfortunately it takes away finality, right? In all things in life, ladies and gentlemen, all things die. All things die. All things end. Everything comes to an end. There is no such thing as forever. Everything has an end to it and a finality to it. And so when you take away that from a movie or a story, it just lessens the credibility and the authenticity of the story. Like, sure, good guys should generally not kill people. Like, if you can, right?
Well, that's the
If you
most
can,
opportune thing, right?
huh?
That's always the idea.
Right. If you can, you try not to kill people.
At all possible.
But
Like us.
you can't always not. Sometimes you have to end things. Like, imagine if he had just stabbed the bad dude in the beginning, when he
I'm
had
not
beat
saying
him
you
the
gotta
first
show
time.
him stabbing him in
No.
the face or anything, but
But
like
just, if he had ended the threat in the beginning when he
there
had
would
beat him
no
the first
longer
time,
be a threat.
the movie would be done.
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be done, but
Oh, yeah.
like it would be a lot easier for him.
And
But
also,
I mean, look.
next time, don't take like 30 seconds to take the shot at a helicopter that's just a sitting duck.
That also was pretty dumb
It was
too.
annoying.
Well, not only that, because the suit, the scarab itself was like, "Hey, bro, they have the weapon.
Yeah.
I advise we retreat now."
Yeah.
He's like, "Nah,
And for
bro,
30 seconds, he's
I
just
got
tracking
this."
it. It's like, dude, either shoot or don't. Like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, obviously, within the story, it was to.
I mean, not only that, dude, you could have just whoop dodged.
Yeah.
You know how fast he was moving earlier? Like, come on.
Yeah. I don't know. Little things here and there that dropped down the score. Something that kept the score up for me, though, and kind of my last thing that I wanted to talk about was the amazing inclusion of the grandmother in the plan. And I was wondering, I think it was in a really well executed thing, because after Blue Beetle gets captured by Victoria Cord, and his family decide to mount a rescue party with the help of Jenny Cord and her father's old Blue Beetle mobile.
Yeah,
we'll call it. Yeah, they had the spaceship, whatever, and they had some weapons.
Which I don't
and
know
shit,
how George
but,
Lopez just
yeah, he
somehow
just knew
knows how to
fly it,
pilot,
but whatever.
perfectly.
But the whole time I was thinking to myself, like, okay, yeah, sure, you guys have a method of transportation and you have what look like weapons and abilities to fight, but like, you guys, like, who like, none of you know what you're doing, like, at all. Like, none of you do. Like the mom, the sister,
Yep.
the uncle, like, none of you know what they're doing, right? But they surprised us by using the grandmother as the brains of the operation, and I think it works so well, and it adds a comedic effect to it, because
I mean,
it's funny
obviously.
to watch an old lady take over and want to be we'll say violent and whatever, but like, if you just really think about it, it makes sense, kind of, like an old Hispanic or Latina lady, like, it's not outside the realm of possibility that she had to deal with some shit before she came to America. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean that's
like,
obvious.
like,
but, yeah.
so it's just, it makes sense to me in my head if we're to stretch, like, so. I liked it. I thought it was pretty great, and it was
Yeah, it was good. It was really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like predictable for me, but maybe that's because I recently been playing like Far Cry 6, and it's just another stereotypical revolution within that kind of
Revolution
culture. Yeah, Viva la Revolution kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's cool, and I liked it. It was funny.
Right.
I liked it really more for the fact that it was like right after he gets taken and the dad dies, for the grandmother to be like, look, there's a time for us to grieve, but this is not it.
That was actually a great moment too. I really like that.
Because everybody's just bawling because
and then it comes full circle later on in the movie when she's like, all right,
now we can cry.
Now you have my permission to die.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That was actually a really, really great moment. And I think that other stories should use it too, because it's 100% true. Yeah. By all means, there is a time to grieve. There's a time to cry. There's a time to be upset. There's a time to be emotional. But sometimes you got to put that shit on hold and you got to take care of business.
Right.
You got to pull out your disco themed Gatling gun and just give the people the business. Just mow down like 30 dudes on your own and laugh hysterically the whole time.
What doesn't make sense is the fact that she can carry this fucking minigun,
massive minigun,
like casually, just as if she was a part of the fucking group in Predator.
Get up!
Yeah, but it was funny though.
It was great. Yeah,
I like that she
It just goes to show,
she let her hair down and stuff. It was funny.
It just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, don't mess with old people. All right, like they may look frail and weak, and
that's what they want you.
But at the end of the day, they might beat the shit out of you. You don't know. You never know. Ladies and gentlemen, go watch this movie. Support the good stuff because there is some good here. I think they have something in this superhero and in this story and the way they set things up. I think they got something, which is something that we have not said in a long time when talking about a DC movie or TV show.
Yeah, or just superhero thing in general.
True. That is true. Marvel's been lacking as of late as well. So, let's support this. Let's take back some control from the big corporate America and revolution. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't checked out our episode on Gran Turismo, go check it out. Okay, it comes out in a couple days. We break down, whether or not you guys should go watch this movie, and it's the first time we've ever been able to put out a review before a movie comes out.
Yeah.
So go check it out. Give us that like. Let us know how you like that movie, and
I know it's a long one, but if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's not that long. Like cut before we get into the
just watch the spoiler-free section and the beginning,
and then go watch the movie.
Yeah. Just let us know if you guys like that, and we'll try our best to continue to do that. And maybe we can petition like all the big studios to let us have early access.
Never know.
But not yet. We'll get there eventually, ladies and gentlemen. With your guys' help, please give us that like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media as well as the other shows here on Any Kind Media. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys.